Top U.S. insiders claim the imperceptible beings are all around us. According to American billionaire Robert Bigelow, famous in the aerospace industry for the manufacture of inflatable modules, such as those tested out at the International Space Station, there are extraterrestrial beings living among humans. Over the past few decades, several insiders boldly accepted the existence of UFOs and hinted at the phenomenon being all around us all the time, and that our reductive senses are limiting our ability to perceive it. The discussion on alien UFO theory has already become a hot topic in the mainstream media. The governments of powerful nations have started considering investigating the issue with full throttle. In the midst of it, experts from various technical and experimental fields began a worldwide surge with their controversial statements on extraterrestrial space aliens. Robert Bigelow, according to American billionaire Robert Bigelow, famous in the aerospace industry for the manufacture of inflatable modules such as those tested out at the International Space Station, there are extraterrestrial beings living among humans. He has said that he is absolutely convinced aliens are living among humans on Earth. During a 2017 interview with CBS 60 Minutes, reporter Lara Logan asked Bigelow if he believes in aliens, and he replied, "I'm absolutely convinced. That's all there is to it." He further said, "There's been and is an existing presence of an ET presence, and I spent millions and millions and millions. I probably spend more as an individual than anybody else in the United States has ever spent on this subject." Laura Logan said, "Do you imagine that in our space travels we will encounter other forms of intelligent life?" Bigelow said, "You don't have to go anywhere." Lara Logan said, "Can you find it here? Where exactly?" Bigelow said, "It's just like right under people's noses." "Oh my gosh, wow," he said. The FAA confirmed to us that for years it referred reports of UFOs and other unexplained phenomena to a company Bigelow owns. He told us he's had his own close encounters, but declined to go into detail. Dr. Gary Nolan, a Stanford microbiologist, spent the last 10 years working with a number of individuals analyzing materials from an alleged UFO phenomenon. In his interview with Jesse Mitchells, Dr. Nolan explains how our brains were specifically constructed to entangle with the quantum fields of the universe. He said, "It means it's so far different from us that it's doing its best to talk to us in ways that it can do. They're either from another planet in this galaxy or elsewhere, underground or nearby or whatever. They just show up and look at us because they're basically maybe looking at their past, or they're interdimensional, or they're from another level of reality that we don't understand. When our mind expands to a certain point in terms of what you might consider reality to be, other entities live there," he said. Since 2016, Gary has been in possession of and analyzing materials given to him by some of the top ufologists in the country, like Jacques Vallée. He's also consulted for the CIA in studying the brain structures of people who claim UFO encounters, and you can click here to read that full article. Jacques Vallée, in the 60 years of UFO sightings, very little research has been conducted to discuss the nature of this phenomenon scientifically. When others called the UFO encounters a hoax, Dr. Jacques Vallée took a stand and provided a convincible explanation for them. In his research paper titled Towards Multidisciplinary SETI Research, co-author with Gary Nolan, Vallée explains the phenomenon being in a comprehensive way. He says, "Because it's hard to imagine all possible life forms, and given the short time that life and consciousness have been scientifically studied, less than 1 century, it would be prudent not to rule out possibilities that may appear unfashionable. Life may thrive underground and in space, near and far from planets and stars, and under conditions we may now consider prohibitive. With a newly essential understanding of quantum physics and quantum information, are biological brains the only place consciousness could have evolved? To this point, new models for the evolution of consciousness and matter are under study that suggest novel possibilities to interpret the nature of reality and which are at odds with a materialistic worldview. This includes the possibility of other forms of communication or contact with alien intelligences that are considered science fiction by mainstream science, yet have an extraordinary history of anecdotal evidence. We are speaking of everything from telepathy, empathy, remote viewing, and out-of-body experiences that may be pointing towards channels of communications beyond what electromagnetic waves can reveal. Before dismissing such ideas, we need to keep in mind that all sensory apparatus our consciousness employs to interpret our immediate universe relies upon electromagnetic waves, which propagate as quantum fields. Our sensory apparatus operates in that quantum reality. We perceive quantum information and construct our internal animal view of reality, but are we perceiving all information fields enfolding us? Are we consciously aware of everything we are perceiving? Animals and now humans are recently understood to perceive magnetic fields. The proteins in our brain that form our neurons sit in a quantum mix where information is transferred in still unfathomable manners. Are those proteins and biologicals completely blind to all forms of information passing through them? He said, now also a list of insiders include former veteran CIA officer Jim Semivan and ex-Pentagon UFO official Louis Elizondo, who shared similar views on the phenomenon. You can click here to read that full article. So these examples add some relevance to the subject that there could be a whole new reality out there that the human brain is unable to see. The idea of intelligent life has never been dismissed by scientists, and taking it one step further, physicist Stephen Hawking said that they could even destroy us. They could be malevolent, for example. He spoke publicly about his fears that an advanced alien civilization of extraterrestrials would have no problem wiping out the human race the way a human may wipe out a colony of ants. Is it possible that there is another civilization living among us? This was originally published on Hows and Whys by Vicky Verma on Collective Spark. And let's also know that we do have, in the spiritual realm, we do have angels and saints around us, but we also have the opposite as well, the malevolent spirits. And we have to be careful to be clean spiritually so that we will not be attacked by the malevolent. And there are ways for these demonic beings to transfer themselves into even angels of light. Let's remember that the Apostle Paul told us that that's how Eve fell to temptation. She perceived the evil one, the devil, as an angel of light, and that thus listened to him. So we know that these demonic entities can transform themselves into anything, even extraterrestrials, or even cars, or even mountains in front of us. Anyway, please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.